Let's go. All right. What's up, y'all? You know it's your man, Fanboy Do. I don't like saying that because it's contradicting. But, I'm here with the man, the one and only.
Young Zave. It is I, the one and only, the youngest of Zaves. Yes.
The youngest.
The youngest of Zaves.
No, it's a pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have
It's a
you.
pleasure to be here.
It's off. So what's up? What's up with you?
Just living life, man. Just got back from my first tour ever. It's kind of a big deal. And then I'm sure, as you know, the big home show. And that's kind of what my gears are grinding towards, man. That's it. All steam ahead.
No. I'm already knowing the Reggie's Rock Club.
Yes.
I'm going to be there myself.
Super excited to have you. Are you looking forward to it?
No, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure everybody know, he just dropped an album in October.
Yes. I forgot about that, man. Seriously, just life has been moving so fast. I mean, that was literally a month ago at this point, and completely forgot that was the case. But yes, I did just drop an album called Dead by Dawn.
Yeah.
My final album, actually. Last one, never making another one.
Why?
Just getting straight into it. I mean, do you want the short answer or the long answer?
I'll take the long one.
The long answer. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we all knew what 2020 was. You know what I mean? I'm sure everybody watching, yourself, myself, we can all relate with how that year was in terms of we were all driven into an introspective mindset. You know what I mean? We all had to sit with the inevitability of not knowing what the future had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there tomorrow? What's important? What's not important? You know what I mean? And I think politically there's a lot of things going on. I think in terms of economically there was, and then also the whole pandemic, you know what I mean? So it's like, what's next in terms of life? If there is even, is that sun going to come up tomorrow? So I think when I wrote this album, I spent a year just stuck in the mindset of what if there wasn't a tomorrow? You know what I mean? What would I say? So kind of wrote it, as like the last signature at the bottom of the page. And I think that's just kind of what it was. Definitely not done making music. You know what I mean? I have a single lined up. We can announce that here if you'd like. No one knows about it. December 17th. It's called Childhood Trauma. It's another like punk rock song. Super excited. But I guess that album was just like, it takes a lot of my soul to create, a story like that. And I think definitely just don't want to do it again.
No, I'm already knowing making an album is definitely a process.
Yeah.
Especially weeding out the songs and shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I gotta tell you, look, man. I've listened to it.
Mm-hmm. You like it?
I've made myself look. There's like 3 songs I listen to occasionally on a daily.
That stand out too, yeah.
Yeah.
What's kind of the vibe of those songs? What's
I like the first song that I think I really liked was Lemonade on the Porch.
Lemonade on a Porch. Okay,
Yeah.
So right at the end of the album. That's my favorite song, actually.
That song, I just like the vibe of that song. I think I just
Appreciate
really
it,
fuck
man.
with that song.
Yeah, appreciate. I think that's it. That is like it encompasses the album as a whole. You know what I mean? It's like literally the heart and soul of the record. So
yeah, that album, that song
Appreciate
is
that.
good. I also like was it Rockstar?
Oh, the Rockstar, yeah, like the old jazzy stuff. Yeah, definitely
That was it.
one of my favorites as well. I think they're all my favorites. You know what I mean? So I can't really answer that. Yeah.
They all hit.
Appreciate it, man.
So, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you perform and stuff. That's why I was going with that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. No, I'm definitely super excited to get back on stage. Back home. It's definitely gonna be my biggest show to date. Like we've pulled no punches in the preparation of this, and I think I can't wait. There's going to be a lot of these, upbeat turnt songs that are really high energy. Let's get the crowd going, that hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
But then also we have like stuff like the Rockstar that are going to be a little bit more introspective. We have Lemon on a Porch, the acoustic stuff. And then also I just have a lot of like, again, electric guitar. Let's just jam out type stuff. So it's going to be something for everyone.
I fuck with it. Definitely.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Definitely. Can't wait for it.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I definitely think it'll be worth it for anyone who comes out. If you're watching this, definitely. November 23rd, Reggie's Rock Club. $10 tickets. $10 tickets.
Something slight.
Come on. It's one of those things. And again, hey, I don't like to talk myself up too much, but it's one of those things where it's just like, it's going to be like, wow, I could have seen this artist for $10. You know what I think? I think Tyrel said the same thing in this retrospect.
Just like looking at the structure of like the lineup.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is just a diverse group of people making music, and it just like that's definitely something you would want to experience. Like it's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of great artists, and I'm not sure how much you've dove into their work and stuff like that. But just the artist as a whole. I'm super excited about it. Normally with my shows, like my headline shows, it's normally me, and then I'll fly someone out from a different state that I've worked with. So I normally don't do openers, but with this show, it's just like, why not? You know what I mean? Especially with the talent that we have, it's super awesome.
Yeah, you're putting it on for Chicago.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Need it. So, as everyone knows, I do my research. And
heard that one yet? Yeah.
And I was watching an interview and you were talking about I think it was the first song about this girl at this party.
Okay, yeah. My first song ever. Yeah.
I think it was Summer Love.
That is correct. Yes, Summer Love, 2017, man.
So
way back. Way back.
Talk to me about how like the transition has been from like film school to music to touring, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great thing to dive into, especially since it feels like so long ago. But I think for me, I grew up always just wanting to be a part of film. You know what I mean? Like creating things visually, telling stories. I've always been a storyteller, but never had the concept of music in that route of telling stories. So I think I went to film school, and it was one of those things. First day, I didn't even speak a word to anyone. I didn't say anything. I sat down in a chair, and I was just like, this is not where I need to be right now. Really weird, you know what I mean? And again, I was kind of devastated. I didn't want to admit it for a while. Like, I didn't want to tell my parents. I didn't want to tell any of the teachers there. I didn't want to tell any of my friends, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know how to navigate that, where it's like, this is something that I've talked about forever and wanted to do, and there's just something in me that's not clicking.
Not really feeling it.
Yeah, it's just strange, man. And I think, but post that, I knew that there's creativity in my DNA, and I think I just bought a camera, and I decided to make kind of like these David Dobrik kind of like vlogs.
No, I've noticed that from your vlogs. They're definitely like, which I liked about them is that they're like mini documentaries.
Yeah, you have to remember, you know what I mean? And they're also selfishly for me too, you know what I mean? To like watch these things back. But yeah, that's how it started in 2017. I bought a camera, and I just started doing like going on trips with like my cousins and my friends, and then just recording things that were going on, you know what I mean? And I think from there stemmed the idea. It was like the third episode in. I was like, you know what? I know someone in Milwaukee that has a studio. What if I just went up there and made a song? You know what I mean? Like, it's a joke. Again, it wasn't one of those things. I was just like, it's a good YouTube video. If it's terrible, it's funny. And if it's good, it's like, okay, I could sneak it in a song, in like a video, and that's it. You know what I mean? But I ended up making a song, and from the moment that I've done that, it was just like, this is exactly why I'm here on this earth. So yeah, that's how that transition was. You know, it was just seamless. So appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been cool watching you do what you do.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Like I remember so I had spent some time I don't want to say trying to, but I spent some time going in and making music and stuff out of high school. Just as me and my homies just fucking around.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Just wanting to make random music.
It's fun, yeah.
It's definitely a fun, stressful, tedious process.
Of course, yeah. Amongst all the other things, yeah.
But it's definitely entertaining. And I think going into it, it's just like, I don't think we thought about like how much it'd take to be like, all right, this is like, you got to be an artist, you got to be this, you got to be here, you got to, film this, film that, record this. Like, it was more than music, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And I was just wondering, like, what route have you taken to help yourself, get into the filming yourself and controlling everything, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the product, you know what I mean? And I understood that when you have a product, you have to brand it, you have to market it. And I think from the start, I think my strong suit in life is not that I'm good at making music. I'm not good at telling stories. I'm just really good at knowing people and like the psychology of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like, I could sell water to a fish. You know what I mean? And it's just like the matter of, you get me in a room with something and a goal, I will figure it out. And I think when I found out music was my passion, I knew from the start of, it was kind of like, I look at myself from the outside, and it's like, have you ever watched someone do something that's like, I may not do that myself, but if I did, this is how I would do it and better. You know what I mean? And I think that's how I kind of always looked at music, where it's like, I wasn't trying to replicate anyone's success, because success doesn't happen the same way twice, but failure does. So I was kind of just looking at everyone around me and like what wasn't working, and just kind of went from there. You know what I mean? So no, I just like you said, I've always had like the mindset of just like the fact that branding was important, right? Is when you listen to a song, that's a song, but like what's the transaction after that? And there has to be a person behind that record. You know what I mean? So I think that answers your question.
That does.
Right? Yeah.
That does. What's a What's a side hobby you say you should have? You
A
would have
side hobby. I love to fight. Yeah, I love to fight. Yeah, boxing, mixed martial arts. Been doing it for some years now. That's another hobby of mine. So I would say if I wasn't making music, that's what I would be trying to do.
That's what's up.
But I mean, if that's what you mean by like hobbies, that's like one thing I
mean,
do.
that
Other
could
than that,
take a,
dude,
that
like,
could take a hobby.
well, I mean, like music in general is just like my life. Like, it's not like a full-time job. It's like a full-time job and a half because it's like it doesn't turn off at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm living with myself and telling my story, right? Anytime that I create music, it's my therapist. You know what I mean? I'm creating something that I feel, whether it's joy or like some kind of sensation I'm trying to give off or just some emotion that I can't really share with anyone. I create it in my art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing like you said with the marketing and branding. You know, people get to come home from their 9 to 5 and shut off and clock out. It's like at the end of the day, I don't get to do that. Those DMs are all day, all the time. And it's like, and as much as I want to get out there, I'm, stopped by how much time I put in. Do you know what I mean? So it's like every waking moment, I'm just like this in my phone, and it's annoying to everyone around me because that's just how it is. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't think there's really many hobbies that I have or any like side things that I do. Like this is just like my life. You know what I mean? Which I'm not complaining. You know what I mean? I enjoy. I get to meet some cool people and make some music, man.
Hey, that's the life. That's living.
It's a fun time sometimes.
So, do you have any influences? You would say, like in
in the music space? Yeah, of course. I mean, I think I get inspiration from everyone. I think that's what everyone says. But in terms of like artists that have always kind of like instilled, whether it's a performative aspect or even just like how they navigate, their fan base. I think like people you wouldn't expect, like 21 Pilots. I don't know if you're familiar with them. So yeah, they don't make like hip hop music at all. So I don't really listen to a lot of rap music. But yeah, they're just like super cult like following, you know what I mean? Take a page out of their book. I obviously love like oldies. I mean, back home, I just got a bunch of old jazz records that I'm listening to. Chet Baker, Frank Sinatra, you know what I mean? Like, Charlie Parker, all these different people. And it's like, that's just my thing, you know what I mean? I love rock music too. So I think realistically, like I said about earlier, is that like, as an artist, you can watch an interview of anyone and you can learn something from that. You know what I mean? Because, if they're on a platform to be on an interview, there's something that they did right. You know what I mean? So in terms of like rap influences, who I think are super awesome, like I don't know his whole discography, but I've watched every interview of his, is Drake. I think he's the most underrated, overrated rapper.
You think he's why?
Well, I'm saying, and that's in a compliment. I'm saying like everybody thinks like they sleep on him because, that's Drake. You know what I mean? Like everyone already knows he's just Drake. He's great. You know what I mean? But I think he still deserves that recognition. You know what I mean? I think he's fantastic. And again, I don't know all of his songs. I'm not like a huge, listener, but when it comes to like what he's done right in building an empire, like that's what I'm concerned with. I'm not in the music business. I'm in the empire business. That's what I'm trying to do. So,
definitely got to respect the route Drake took.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, even when it comes to just, let's say, artists in the rap scene that like fascinate me, I think Jack Harlow is incredible right now in terms of like his media presence, but then also too like nobody's making music like Jack Harlow right now. Super fun stuff.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, I mean, my taste and my influences are everywhere, man. It's all around me.
No, that shows that you, that creative mind. I mean, everything is inspirational.
Trying.
That's what's up. You guys already know I'm high, so I'm just doing what I do.
Just vibing. We're just chilling.
So do you So what can you say about like performance wise? Like, what do you feel like was your best performance? Like, what do you feel like best place you performed?
That's a great question. I think my first ever headline show was called it was the After Dark show at Chop Shop, and that was in 2019. And I've been an artist that has had a very interesting journey in terms of like, especially on tour. I've met a lot of artists who've done like hundreds of shows, like hundreds of small shows, and like really put in that time. And I feel like in a way I've kind of catapulted that, where I've only done like 5 to 7 like small little shows like in bars and stuff, and then all of a sudden it was like I'm performing at Chop Shop in front of a couple hundred people. You know what I mean? And I think that show definitely will always stand out to me because it was like the night was built around me. You know what I mean? You come out and it was just like the interaction there, where it's like I was able to realize how much of a following I did have. And even the people that didn't know me, like we all just like, at the end of the day, they're trying to have fun. I'm trying to have fun. And it's not even like I'm here and they're here. it's more like you get on, and you think that as a performer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I'm on this stage, that not like you're above them, but like, there's a hierarchy in the room. But in reality, like when you're performing, you're actually in it and they're having fun. Like everyone's just here, dude. Yep. And it's not even like, it's like throwing a big party and you're just involved. It's not even like the fact that like everyone's there for you. It's just like,
look at it like a karaoke party.
Yeah. It's awesome,
everybody
dude.
just knows what's going on.
Yeah, and it's a vibe, dude. It's a vibe. But I think the Chop Shop show was definitely one that I'll never forget. But in terms of like recently, dude, I did a very small like studio show at a place called Lumber Studios, and I think it was like my most recent show outside of like the tour. And it was just a small little show. Like we had like, maybe like 40, 50 people show up, for me and see me perform, which was super dope. But it was super intimate. And I think after like COVID and not having, doing these big shows and stuff, and then just doing something like that, I think it was like my best performance. Just how interactive we were. Like there was some like, older women that were sitting in the corner. Like I'm talking like, they were like older, they're like grandmas, you know what I mean? And like, as I'm performing, especially something like this, more braggadocious, rap stuff, I'm like kind of mindful of like who's in the room and stuff. And of course I'm going to do me, but at the same time, like I'm trying to cater. I'm not trying to be like that obnoxious rapper when people don't know who I am or whatever, you know what I mean? But anyways, even after the set, like they like pulled me aside and they're like, that was great. Like I had so much fun. You know what I mean? It's like when you have a show like that, a small little show where people that are 14 years old are having a good time, people our age that are there having a good time, and then you have like the adults in the corner that are having a blast too. Like that is like the greatest feeling ever.
Oh no, I know that's definitely got to be a good feeling, appealing to a large crowd.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Different groups of people. That shit is tea. It's gonna be tea.
Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be a good time. I mean, the pre-sales are great. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that like even my other shows when we've had like a couple hundred people there, like I'll keep it 100% real. Like, the last time I did Reggie's, I think we had like 200 something people there, right? But the week of, we literally had like 9 pre-sale tickets sold, which was like, it's always super stressful because it's like no one buys tickets ahead of time. So we were sitting there. Well, I was sitting there and just like, wow, like is nobody showing up? But then of course day of, people come and buy their tickets. But now, just pre-sale alone, we have more than what any of my other shows were by far. So then you get the people that come day of and stuff like that. And I'm just super excited. Like the way I look at it is like when I perform or just in general, I'm Young Zave and so are you. So at the end of the day, we're all just in this room and it's just more people to cater to. You know what I mean?
Hey,
it's gonna be a blast, man. It's gonna be a blast.
Hey, yeah, I can't wait for that. Personally, like someone was just to come across like Young Zave and just be like, what do you want people to take from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of have like 2 answers to that question, right? It's because I think there's my guy. I think there's 2 types of music on the very surface level, right? There's music to be heard and there's music to be listened to. And I think the music to be listened to is, that deeper, more introspective stuff. And I think it's like when you listen to something, you're getting something valuable in terms of like relatability, right? If someone can listen to my records and be like, hey, they said what I've always wanted to say, but they've said it in a way that makes sense and I can explain it to other people, that's super awesome. You know what I mean? I think that's super cool, the relatability. But then also the music to be heard is just like, it's good to listen to music and get enjoyment out of it. Because at the end of the day, like we're all just trying to be entertained, Definitely. So I think those are the 2 big takeaways where it's just like, again, this journey is just as much mine as the people that support me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, without those people, I'm not where I am. You know what I mean? And that's why I always get super hype about bigger shows and, bigger releases and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, it's not just my success, but it's like the more we grow as a group, it's like the more opportunities that I get to give to entertain them. Whether that's more music for them to relate to or it's more music for them to enjoy, more experiences, to say like, it's so much more fun to follow an artist and like go see them at a small show, but then let's say they're playing Allstate Arena, and it's like, oh, I was a part of this since the start. It's like that's an experience we share. You know what I mean? Whether you're a day one and you've known my music since 2017, or you just discovered me last week, like I think those people are the same, and I think it's just about elevating that journey together. So I think to answer your question, the takeaway is just the fact that I'm providing some kind of value in terms of entertainment or like enjoyment. That's the reaction right there. That's the move.
It's just raw. That shit is cold.
How you feeling?
That shit is definitely
you vibing?
I'm cool. I'm
just
cool.
You having a good time?
Of course. I'm with him guys. Of course, I'm having a good time.
Likewise.
So, I know you guys. I'm not gonna drink anything or smoke anything because yesterday was crazy. But
oh man,
talk to me about how like life has been like on the road though. You know.
Yeah, I mean, so my first tour just happened, and I think it was an experience, man. I think when you're traveling different places, the way I would look at it is you can have supporters in different cities and different states, but like the difference between being home and being on the road is like your entourage with you is different. So like for example, at home, sure, there's a lot of people that come out to shows that I've never really met in person, and they'll be like saying words to my songs, and I've never even seen them in my life, which is super cool. But at the same time, like I know my mom's in the corner, and I know, you know, my cousin's over there, and my best friend's right there, and it's like you have that support system. But like when you go to a different state, you have like these fans and supporters, but then you don't have anyone that you like know. So it's a different feeling. Yeah, exactly. It's a different feeling, and I think also too, what I've learned is where you're playing also changes. I have a big discography, so I have a lot of songs. You know, very broad range of music. You know,
pretty
like,
versatile, yeah.
Which is a good and bad thing. I think the way I like to put light on it is the fact that I have something for everyone, right? But I don't have, you know, everything for someone in specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you can't. There's songs that you may listen to and be like, I vibe with that, but then that other genre just isn't for me. You know what I mean? But I think the thing that I learned on tour is like based on where you're going, different people and different demographics want to hear those different types of sounds. So like for example, what I played in Atlanta may not have been what I'll play in Long Island, New York. You know what I mean? Because it's just different groups of people, different demographics, different age ranges. You know what I mean? So I think that was probably the biggest takeaway. But also too, traveling sucks, dude. Like I normally travel a lot and I love traveling, but when you're traveling solo and then also just like there was nowhere that I was really staying for like 48 hours at a time, it's so like just go and it's like this is the first time I've gone on a trip, and normally you leave from a trip and you come back and you're like, oh, nothing's changed, and it doesn't feel like I left. But then I feel like I've been gone forever and I feel like I left, and I'm just like, Jesus, it's so good to be back.
Damn.
But I love touring, right? I want to do it again. But I also just, you know, I love and hate music. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. It's love. It's love.
That's it,
Love
man.
is always a love-hate.
And, I mean, can I swear on here? Is that a thing?
You can do whatever the fuck you want, man.
Okay, well, that's the way I look at it. Is I was talking to someone the other day about this, and I was saying music's a bitch, right? She's literally a bitch. Like, you love her, and you put all this into her, and you expect this back, but sometimes she doesn't love you back,
she
dude.
doesn't fuck with you.
Sometimes she literally gives you the cold shoulder, and that's it. And she's off doing whatever with whoever. You know what I mean? It's like, you owe me something, and it's like... so that's the way I would describe my relationship with love, where it's like it's the highest of highs and it's the lowest of lows. I mean, my relationship with music, yes, which is my love. You know what I mean? So I guess same thing, yeah.
Damn, you know, I definitely agree with that. That's
spot on. It's tough.
Music is crazy. So, when you still do film and stuff, right?
Yeah.
How does that did that help you with your music, like being able to do your like own music videos? And
yeah, I mean, for one, you save a lot of money, right? The ability. I mean, everyone knows that shooting stuff, right? Hiring a production team costs money, but we know the real time is in the editing room, right? Because we could spend 2-3 hours on set shooting something, but then that edit could take 20 hours, and that's where the money is. You know what I mean? So the ability. I mean, I've been editing, doing graphic design, all that stuff since I was like 12, 13 years old. So the ability to do that has definitely helped. But in terms of like my storytelling, right, is when I make an album like Dead by Dawn, there's a visual soundtrack in my head. You know what I mean? Like there's a movie scene for each thing that's going on. So, yeah, it's definitely aided me. And I think now that I am done with this album and I may not make another album, I'm definitely exploring in my head like the idea of potentially like making like a short film for the album. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, because it's like the music's there and I'm not going to make any more of that album, but at the same time it's like I think there's still a story that wasn't necessarily told, because you could tell stories. It's like listening to like a podcast. You can listen to a podcast to get the gist of it, but then like at the end of the day, if there's like a YouTube version of the podcast where you can sit there and watch it and listen, it's an entirely different experience. So I just want to make sure I got my message across. That's all.
Get the details in there.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely. Hey, if you do that, I need to see that shit. Definitely.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, you'll be at the early screening.
I'm gonna be there tweaking.
I mean, that would be my second short film. So I've done a short film before.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Did you watch the film, the whole thing? I won't be mad if you did it.
I don't think I watched the whole thing.
No.
I seen it, and I fell asleep. I got high.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. My movie's boring, guys.
No, I liked how it was told from the perspective it was told from though, because it wasn't like like me and you just talking to each other. Like, it was damn the drugs.
You're good, man.
I would like for you to elaborate on it though, so they could
on the film in general. Yeah, so I made a short film called "The Hurt for This." I think it was what I just described with this album, where I want to tell more of a story. Right? There was a relationship, I guess I could say, that inspired a lot of my music at the time, and I created a lot of music about it. But I just felt like artistically, I wasn't really dabbling at what it is, at least for myself, what I was trying to like get across. So I was like, let me create a movie, right? So I created a movie called Hurt for This. It's a metaphor, right? The way I looked at it is the main character in the story, I can have him making music, but if it's just me working hard in the studio, not everyone can relate to that. So I was like, how can I make people understand pain? And what's an easier way to understand pain than someone getting punched in the face? So it's a boxing film. Right? Because what's more relatable than that? Everyone knows what that feels like. Everyone knows it hurts. So I think that was a metaphor of like that whole process. But yeah, it's a short film. It's about, I think, like 30 minutes. I think I haven't seen it in a while, but it's a 30-minute short film. We have a soundtrack that we made for it and everything. It's called the Hurt for This soundtrack on all media platforms. And yeah, if you've got nothing going on for a good 30 minutes, check it out. Yeah, and maybe if you like that, then maybe we'll make something else in the future.
Bro.
Yes.
Bro.
Yeah.
I just got into trying to film anything.
Okay.
And I fucking suck. I just suck at it. Just not good at it. Editing is definitely easier for me though, only because the filming part, fucking around. I think I got Parkinson's or some shit. I just could not do that. But I do always have the vision in mind, and the editing part is always, I don't want to say easier, but I feel like honestly it's just time, the time it takes. But once you know what you want to do, it's easier to just, all right, I gotta set the tone of this, and do your cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's where everything's made, man, in the editing programs.
Filming, I don't know how the fuck y'all doing that shit.
Literally, I mean you could have, if we're talking about movies for a second, right? You can have something that a director shoots, and this is the vision, and here's the script, and here's what we laid out, here's how we shot it. But at the end of the day, I mean, you can go on YouTube right now and look up like different moods for different edits and stuff like that, and it's like if you put different music over the same scene of a movie, it changes the vibe, the way it's shot, right? How close is the camera angle, how far? Like at the end of the day, the editing room is what decides what people are feeling and what they're seeing. So yeah, I mean editing is probably the biggest component.
Yeah, no.
So it's good that comes easy to you. What is what I'm saying?
It was a bad idea, but
here we are, doing things.
A podcast now.
Doing things. Yeah, man, it's cool. It's
and
cool.
The podcast is something that kind of just came up out of COVID, out of just not interacting with people so much because honestly, I'm just the worst person to talk to.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Just not good with people.
Interesting.
I am just not a people person. I can interact with people. I'm not a fucking robot. But
it's a switch. There's a time and a place.
I surely don't really talk to motherfuckers. I used to just go in the studio, make my music. I'm the nigga that don't bring anybody
just
to the
do
studio.
Your thing. Yeah.
Just by myself. Fuck around, turn the light off. Record my shit. I'll be like, I'm out.
Yeah, no, that's a way to do it, man. It's a way to do it, actually.
But I was like, you don't want to live life and not talk to people. That sounds terrible, and it was. I'm gonna tell you, it was. So I just thought, like, I mean, so many people I know, so many people I've wrote songs for, so many people I've just been around.
Yeah,
I'm like, I might as well just talk to them.
Like all these connections that you kind of accumulated, right? Yeah.
It's like I might as well talk to them. It's whatever.
Cool.
And it just became a vibe, understanding people's like perspective of life type shit. Like that shit is cold. Y'all Everyone. I think the big part about it is just like there's so many different lifestyles. Like you can literally be whoever the fuck you want. Like you can be a wrestler that kills chickens on the weekends. Whatever the fuck you're doing, you can do that. Yeah. And like nobody can really be like, that's strange. I mean, it can, but is it really gonna matter?
Everyone does their own shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just nice to hear everybody's like just outlook on life and how they doing what they doing, cause
I make sounds into a microphone for a living. You know what I mean? Like, think about how funny that sounds. That's what I do.
Frequencies all day.
I talk about myself in melodic form. You know what I mean?
You got a nice ass voice though. That shit is crazy. I don't know who the fuck your parents are or what's going on with that, but that shit's crazy. You got you should just read a book.
Just read a book. Dude, like I've always wanted to do like a podcast, dude. I've always wanted to do something that was just like, because I mean, I like talking, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a switch too. I get what you're saying, where it's like everybody wants their space, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, like, especially in the music scene, I've been like known to not be very hands-on with like, I don't have a big network, you know what I mean? Because I don't look for opportunities with other artists. I don't really, you know what I mean, have many relationships. And best believe when I do have relationships with artists, it's like I really, really fuck with them. And it's like, those are my homies, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I'm very this, you know, so I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like back to the talking thing, like, dude, I like enjoy like interviews and podcasts, and you know what I mean. So it's a pleasure to be here.
No, I'm glad you're here. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, me and him go way back. Yeah, me and him.
You told me you guys went to film school together.
Yeah, we met in film school, and I was living downtown at the time, and then he would come over like every other day. We'd go up to my rooftop and play pool and stuff like that and just be kids, right? Talk about girls and stuff. I mean, he has a wife now, so this never happened. There was no women prior. This is my shout out to you, Tyrel, because my government name's Xavier. But yeah, there was no women prior at all in any form, by any means. I don't even think you liked women. I think there was a guy named Johnny that you were very close to. He'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, we go way back, and you know, it's cool that we've both kind of fell, you know, even though we both went to film school, we kind of end up getting involved in music, and I think kind of, you know, found a way to still keep in touch and still be friends and still work together, and I think that's those relationships are super cool, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's the only person that I made friends with in college, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's a relationship that's lasted years, so.
How was? See, I didn't go to college. So that was college.
Yeah.
Was that fun? That was a good.
You know, I can't say I had the traditional experience. You know what I mean? I didn't go off to some school far away and live in a dorm, yada yada. I mean, for me, it was more along the lines of I lived in a apartment building with a bunch of other adults, so it wasn't like a bunch of parties going on. It wasn't super cool like that. Film school was super small. Obviously, the idea for me as a pubescent man was the fact that, go to parties, meet girls and stuff like that. And it's like, I went to a film school where there's like 2 women in attendance. You know what I mean? Hey, maybe that's what it was. Maybe when I walked in the building, I was like, this is why I don't belong here.
It's no ass.
But no, yeah, I didn't have the traditional experience. You know what I mean? And I went to go visit friends on college campuses, and there's definitely the thought that crossed my mind several times where it's like, I wonder what if, you know what I mean? It looks fun, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I think the path that I'm on is just the path that was meant to happen, you know? So I can't complain. And I mean, college is great. If you're a kid watching this and you want to go to school, go to school. If you don't want to go to school, well, make sure you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? I think my big thing was to my parents was that it's not that I didn't want to go to school. Like, us as individuals, as human beings, we got to do things we don't like, right? You think everybody likes waking up and working a 9 to 5? You think that's what people like to do? You think people like having to make money to live? Like, no, it's not what people. But you do what you have to do. Yep. And I think for school, my excuse, or I guess my reasoning, was it's not that I don't belong here. I don't like learning. I fucking love learning, dude. Like, realistically, I take so much pride in like learning things and just the ability. I love it. Great. You know what I mean? But my thing was, you know, I've always told my parents is that if we're paying for a degree that I don't plan to use, that's just a waste of money. Because nothing that I wanted to do in life, which again, I didn't know at the time, but I knew that it was a creative endeavor or building something or some kind of entrepreneurial, you know, endeavor, that there was no route for me that involved a degree. Otherwise, that was time wasted, life wasted in terms of like the things that I can be, excelling in terms of like my, what's maturation, right? But yeah, I think, if you're gonna go to college and make sure it's something you want to do, or figure out if that's something for you. And then if you don't want to go to college, well, make sure you have a good reason as to why.
I think I knew I wasn't going to college freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Not that I knew I was going to be making music, because I didn't start making music till senior year, maybe.
Okay,
maybe.
Okay.
Possibly.
Before me, you got more
junior.
Years on me, man.
No.
You're the vet here.
No. Hell no. I quit like at least for like 3 years.
Yeah, but I mean that's an experience too that I think is really cool. As you bring people on the podcast, like you can kind of, you're not just someone who consumes the product. You're a person who made it at one time. So I think that gives you an insight that not everybody has. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I definitely, when I talk to artists especially, it's definitely a connection I can have, because it's just like I understand the stress and shit, and just especially the ones that just want to make music at the end of the day. Like just want to make a good fucking song, because at the end of the day, that's all I ever want to do is just make music. And just, I guess, have money to not live in a house and just travel. But, that's it. So I understand it's just like, okay, I wanted to make music, but I have to do all this other shit.
Yeah, of course.
Outside of it.
Yeah.
So I definitely get it. I wish I did. But,
awesome.
So what do you,
what's up?
Do you watch anything? I'm very big on shows and shit. Well, that's a cap. I lied. All right, that's a lie. I don't watch any show. But
okay, that was a big contradiction there. I'm very big on shows. Okay, never mind. I don't watch anything.
Because
okay,
I didn't want to lie to you guys.
Okay.
I'm like a cartoon guy. I'm very big on animation type shit.
Okay.
So I've seen damn near every cartoon. Like it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it's not a good thing that I have done that. It's just a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But What's
So are we talking like cartoons, or are we talking like anime?
It can be any show.
I'm a huge Naruto fan.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar.
I've all right. I'll let you say what you guys.
Is that a yeah or no?
No, I've seen Naruto. I actually recently watched it during COVID with somebody.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I have 2 Naruto tattoos. I do.
Who are they?
Right here, I got the kunai knife,
kunai.
and then I have on the back of my ankle, essentially, I have basically like a tattoo of like the Naruto character. I don't know. Well, I don't know if you know the show at all. Like, do you know what like Hokage is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So like
Hokage?
the 7th Hokage, like the letters. Yeah, that's got it. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it to people, like, if they don't know the show.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how the hell do I explain that? And it's like, how long do I make this story? But if you know, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
Like
know
the thing that goes on the back of the robe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, sure, I'm into that. I like SpongeBob.
You know, I haven't seen SpongeBob.
Ooh, okay.
So,
guys, he's just a liar in general. He doesn't watch cartoons either, because that is the
SpongeBob
galore
episode, because I used to date a girl who weirdly was obsessed with that show.
You've seen a episode?
I've seen, all right.
Dude, think about all the memes, dude, like the good music, too.
I don't usually know all the memes. I can name the episodes that I've seen. That's how many episodes of SpongeBob I've seen. I've seen the band one. I've seen... I think Mr. Crab was a robot, possibly.
That is a great episode. Dude, I just feel like every episode of SpongeBob is great. Like,
everyone that tells me about SpongeBob be like,
man.
Bro, damn near all 5 seasons are good.
It's just good, dude. It's just good. Like, it's just... Come on.
I was too busy watching Cartoon Network.
What's the cartoon that you're referring to that like is good that you like? I want to see if maybe I've seen the cartoons that you've seen. Maybe.
I've seen SpongeBob.
Okay.
Okay,
times. But like, what's your answer to the question? What are you watching? Because I feel like either there's a disconnect where I'm just like this very niche person and I've only seen a certain amount of things, and maybe you're very cultured. You know what I mean? Or maybe you just don't know anything about cartoons. So I think we need to get to the bottom of this.
I would have to say, all right, my ultimate favorite is clearly Scooby-Doo.
Okay. So we're actually talking about like cartoons, yeah.
But I mean, from like my era of growing up, I would say I was watching like Kids Next Door and fucking
good stuff.
Dexter.
Have you ever watched hentai?
Hentai? What's that?
Never seen it on Cartoon Network? It's
No.
like right after Scooby-Doo. It's like the best show ever.
Right after
I can't. I'm
Scooby-Doo.
sorry. I'm fucking with you. It's like cartoon porn.
I'm looking like I've seen everything on Cartoon Network.
I was gonna keep it going, and I was like, should we leave it in the interview? Should I like mess with him? And that would have been good. But
definitely leave it at that. That's
okay. Okay, Scooby-Doo's a classic. I like Codename Kids Next Door. That's
Nickelodeon wise.
Jimmy Neutron. Did we watch Jimmy Neutron?
I seen Jimmy Neutron. I don't think I fucked with Jimmy Neutron.
Did you watch Rocket Power?
Yeah, that shit is awesome.
Rocket Power's hard.
Chalk Zone and Rocket Power.
Powerpuff Girls been hard too. I don't care what anyone says.
It's definitely a hit. If you don't like it, I don't really understand you.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Definitely.
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom is a hit.
What else is popping?
I even seen what's that shit called? Teenage Robot.
That sounds so familiar.
It's a Nickelodeon
it's a girl,
show.
right?
It's a girl. She's like blue.
Yeah. That sounds.
It's not a good show, but
you know what came after our generation? I feel like it was a really, really, really good show. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
That shit is a hit,
dude. My little brother used to watch that, and it's like one that was like the only thing we bonded over, but also two, it's just like that show was so good.
That show was amazing.
Adventure Time was good.
Regular show.
I was just about to say the regular show. Another really good one. Again, it was like the generation, like the Cartoon Network generation after my generation.
Mm-hmm.
But because I had a younger brother, like, yeah, it's good stuff.
I have a younger sister somewhere.
Good stuff.
Somewhere in the universe.
Out there.
But definitely, anime wise,
Demon Slayer?
I seen Demon Slayer. I don't think I liked it.
Okay.
I'm more of a like Cowboy Bebop.
Okay. I've heard about that before. That's what hentai is, actually. It's anime porn, not Cowboy Bebop. I mean, it sounds like a cool porn.
I think I
It sounds like some kind of interesting sexual position. You want to play some
Bebop?
Cowboy Bebop? I don't know.
Bebop.
I don't know. But anyways, I've heard
trying
about
to come
that
home
before.
and bebop with me.
Yeah. I think we've gotten off the mark a little bit. Yep.
But all right, my favorite part of the show. But,
okay. Yeah.
If there was like anything that you would like want the people to know, philosophy, an idea, or advice, what would it be? Philosophy time.
Yeah, okay, philosophy. I like that. I think my big thing is embrace the delusion, right? I grew up in a household where I was encouraged to dream dangerously. And I think that's very interesting where, like, people ask me sometimes, they're like, you know, what was your childhood like? Mm-hmm. And I say I had a dangerous childhood, and not the fact that I grew up in a rough neighborhood or I had, like, you know, this hard upbringing or anything. I had a very loving, encouraging home where I was encouraged to dream, to be whatever I want, and that's toxic for a young man to grow up or a young woman to grow up and carry that, you know what I mean? And yeah, and that could be overwhelming, you know what I mean? It's I think there needs to be a balance, but the one thing that I will say from that is with this delusion, right, this grandiose belief that I have in my head of this pursuit that I'm trying to follow, right, with music, it's crazy. At the end of the day, we all have some like mental issue to pursue something creative, you know what I mean? It's off the given path, and I think embrace the delusion. That's my philosophy. It's gotten me to where I am. And again, at the end of the day, you could look at me and be like, he ain't shit. You know what I mean? But the way I look at it too is like when you brought up the first thing you said, 2017, I made a song in Summer Love. I didn't even know I was going to make music. And now it's like what I do for a living. You know what I mean? It's like past me would be proud of future me. And I'd like to think that 4 years from now, it'd be continued. Hell, I'd like to think that a week from now when I perform at Reggie's Rock Club that I'm going to be just as proud as me. You know what I mean? And I think you don't get that without embracing that psycho in your head. You know what I mean? So, yeah, embrace the delusion and also just don't stay so narrow-minded. You know what I mean? I talked about wanting to go to film school my entire life and then not knowing what I wanted to do after I did that. And I think April 27th, 2017, I woke up and I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. And then I went to a studio, made a song, and April 27th, 2017, that night, I went to bed and knew exactly what I wanted to do. So don't be narrow-minded, and then also just fucking be kind of crazy.
Hey.
So, philosophy with young
belong
Zay.
in the office. Fendi facts. Fendi facts. Definitely. You guys know my philosophy. Be cool. Search for happiness. You know, don't think that shit unrealistic. Be you. Only you could be you. It's the best shit ever.
Good stuff.
Trust
Good
me.
stuff.
Trust me. Being yourself is just so much fun. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Unless you're Hitler. Don't be yourself. Please don't.
I think it was a little bit too much of himself, and I don't know why we allowed this.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, I applaud those.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
great virtues. Okay.
But, yeah, you know, of course, we had an hour. Definitely. Right on the fucking
Fire,
dot.
man.
How did I do this?
Again,
Okay.
thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
awesome.
coming. I appreciate
I'll be
this.
seeing you next week.
Definitely.
Budge Rock Club. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you next week.
We are
And if
coming.
you've watched this interview, what I will tell you is you come up to me. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care who I'm talking to. I don't care if I'm on stage. You said, hey, I watched the interview. That's what you say. Did you say, I watched the interview? And I'm going to know where you came from. And I'm telling you, if you're watching this, this is your invitation to go to the show. It's $10 fucking. And I promise you have all my attention in the world because you're going to say, I watched the interview. And I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing mid-song, mid-conversation, I don't know, whatever I'd be doing mid-shit. What am I going to be doing? Yeah, at a fucking show, whatever. Anyways, and we're going to chat. I'm going to say, you know what? You heard me, and I'm hearing you. And I'm Young Zaven, so are you. So, yeah.
Bro, that's the most rewarding thing that could possibly happen from just supporting. That shit is.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's about, man. We're all people. So,
Bro. You know, it's your boy, Fanboy Dude, Charlie Sheen's cousin. Here with my man.
Young Zave, not Charlie Sheen's cousin. But, yeah.
And it's good.
Hey,
Glad
fuck
he came.
you, Tyrel. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.